fix it in post. Hey there, Isaac here. As we left off, the gang had just escaped the sands of Ra, and they're headed into this realm of flower people. I was thinking about a name, and I came up with a good one. So, Xerxes starts to narrate as they go through into this new world. Got nice, beautiful green fields, hills. Sometimes the grass is like different colors. We can see some like orange grass from far away, and it looks like some like purple grass even. It's lots of like rainbow colored grass. And Xerxes goes, "This is the realm of the flower people." That's their name. They don't really have a name. They don't really have a language either. They're a nomadic group of people. They just travel around the fields in groups of like 12 or so. And they just vibe. This has made it very difficult for Xander to conquer them. He could like go through the sands and add the flower people to their army, but they don't speak. There's no like leader to take over. It's very difficult to take over a group of nomadic people. So he has like groups of scouts like trying to establish relations with these guys, but he doesn't really know what to do with them. So, but they begin walking through the fields. Hopefully they won't even have to see any flower people. The flower people aren't like mean, but the plan is just to quickly cut across the fields, make it towards the troglodytes. In the beginning, they don't see any flower people. What they in fact find is one of Xander's scouts. It's a small group. It's got one person from the Elawir, one of the owls, and 3 Xerings. And they see each other from pretty far off, and they decide that like running from them isn't going to be a good idea, so they eventually just meet, and diplomacy ensues. Ellie, our friendly Elawir, is the first to talk. She's like talking to the other Elawir, and she says, "Get out. You didn't see us. Leave. It can be as simple as that." And the Xander's Elawir goes, "Oathbreaker! You swore a promise to our queen, and you have failed your promise. You must die." And then she like looks at the rest of the group, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's Jacob Storm. We like need to capture these people." But here's the thing: there's 4 scouts, and I think 9 people. 3 of them are like the humans who don't know how to fight, but 6 is a very unbalanced team. If the scouts tried to attack, then things wouldn't go well. But tensions are high. Apparently there is some sort of drama between Ellie and the rest of the Elawir. And Xerxes is not a fan of any of the Xerings who betrayed him. And Jacob and Addison and Marcus, they just kind of watch as things go down. They don't really like know what to say. But eventually the other Elawir is like, "You swore a promise to our queen to defend her until you died. Why are you here?" And Ellie's like, "She is no queen of mine. She betrayed her people the day she let Xander take over. I have a new king, Jacob." And Jacob's like, "Me? I'm the king of the Elawir? I don't even know what that means." But apparently that was the last straw, and violence breaks out. The Xerings charge. The other Elawir charge. Ellie and the other Elawir are fighting in the sky, like whoosh, like kind of like jousting with their spears. Except Ellie's is much more advanced thanks to Ned. And Xerxes is taking on one of the Xerings, even Marcus. One of the Xerings charges Marcus for some reason, and Marcus, surprisingly, he holds his own. He's like dodging. The guy's got like a big old axe, and Marcus is dodging stuff. He lands a kick. He like kicks the guy in the shin, And it doesn't seem like Marcus is going to be able to win this fight, but he's not going to lose. Eventually, Roz finishes what he's doing and shoots his little knife out and gets the guy that Marcus is fighting. But Jacob like watches this and he's pretty impressed. Like, where did Marcus learn how to do this? Eventually, Ellie like knocks down the other Eloir and has this like spear and is like, should I kill him? And like Jacob like looks to Xerxes and Xerxes looks at Jacob and Ellie looks at Jacob and Jacob's like, what? Me? No, you shouldn't kill him. And then Ellie's like, well, what should I do with him, Jacob? And Jacob's like, and he looks at like the Xerinx who like are dead, and he's like, oh my god, like what? Tell her to send the White Prince Xander a message. I know the evil deeds that you have done, and I, Jacob, son of Storm, will stop you. And everybody is like looking at Jacob and they're like, wow, nice. cool little speech. Addison and Marcus are not like, okay, yeah, whatever, kid. But everybody else is like, this is the king. This is Jacob, our king. And so Ellie begrudgingly lets the other Eloir go, and she swoops off and flies away, supposedly towards the White Prince, but it'll be a while before she gets there. And nobody's like really hurt. It was a pretty one-sided battle. But Jacob's like, yo, Marcus, where'd you learn how to do that? And Marcus is like, like the streets. Jacob's like, the streets? I don't know about that. That you had some like technique. I saw you like had your hands up. You were like, whatcha? And Marcus like, all right, okay. I do karate. Jacob's like, you do karate? Like with like a belt and like the like outfit and like you like bow and you're like yes sensei, and Marcus is like, yeah, like karate, it helps like focus myself. And Jacob's like, I'm sorry, I mean that's not really like it's the type of thing that I thought that you would, I don't know, like you and karate like doesn't really seem like your type of thing, right, Addison? Addison is like, don't bring me into this. And Marcus is like, what do you mean? What do you mean don't bring me into this? You know what? I'm sorry if you might have an actual opinion or thought. And Jacob's like, wait, what? No, chill out. I'm just like poking fun. And Addison's like, yeah, you know what, Marcus? Screw you. You are like the textbook definition of a high school has-been. A bully who hurts others because they don't care about themselves. And first of all, Jacob's like, that's the most Addison has like ever said this whole time. Also, stop. What is going on? And so they just like start fighting, just out of nowhere. Jacob's like, guys, chill out. But eventually, like, Roz is like, should I step in? Should I stop this? And Jacob's like, I don't know. And Roz is like, all right, both of you, chill out, stop. First of all, we don't even need to bring you. All right, you're causing trouble. All we need is Jacob. We could leave you right here in this field. All right, you understand me? So chill out and let's get moving. And now, just like that, Jacob is the bad guy. Jacob, who was just like, kind of like poking fun. Marcus and Addison are like, yeah, okay, Jacob is the important one. So now all three of them hate each other. Not Jacob. Jacob is just kind of caught in the middle, but that's how it goes. Marcus and Addison, neither of them like say anything for the rest of the walk. And eventually, Ellie had been like flying around, like scouting. She comes down and she's like, guys, we need some food. It's been a while since we had food. I see far off in the distance a group of the flower people. I think they probably have some supplies. If we could meet with them and we could eat. And like, everyone looks at Jacob and Jacob's like, yeah, sure, let's go. Stop asking me questions like this. I don't know. So they march towards the flower people. And it's starting to get night. Beautiful stars, by the way. Absolutely no light pollution in these flower fields, so you can see. And it's not like normal stars either. You can see like giant like planets in the distance. It doesn't really make sense how we can have so many like cool moons and planets and like bright stars and constellations, but it is gorgeous. But eventually they meet up with the flower people. And one of them seems to be the leader of this like little group. He seems, I don't know, more flowery. He's like tall. He's got like leafy bodies, like leafy legs and arms. And for a head, he has like a giant red sunflower. And Xerxes talks to them. Xerxes has been around. He's been to basically all 12 of the kingdoms in his time in exile, so he knows his way around. And he like meets with the guy with in the red sunflower, and they like talk. Jacob's not really sure what's going on, but eventually Xerxes is like, all right, we're gonna spend the night here. They're gonna feed us. They're not a big fan of the White Prince either, so they're sympathetic to our cause. And they're like, great. So they've got like a little circle of rocks they're all sitting on. Jacob looks around. We've got like a guy with a tulip head. We've got like roses, and some like flowers he doesn't even recognize. Some like blue thing with like antennas. I don't know. They're all very pretty. And eventually, the guy with the sunflower sits next to Jacob. It's like a seat of honor or something. And he's growing like a fruit like off of his arm. And he takes it and like hands it to Jacob. Jacob's like, am I supposed to eat this? This is so weird. So much weird stuff is happening to Jacob. But he takes a bite. I mean, it's pretty good. And eventually they're all just like eating off of these plant people. And it's starting to get dark. And one of the plant people like pulls out his arm. He's got like vines growing from his arm down to his leg. And he takes his like leafy hand and he starts to like pluck the vines. It's like a little harp. He's playing music. And another guy, he's got like these like seed packets on his arm. He starts shaking them like a little maraca. And some of them have like big old like barky stumps and they're like playing the drum, and some are like using their arms and their legs like to like bow a cello of some sorts, and they're all like start making music, and it's beautiful. And Jacob's like, wow, these guys are awesome. And the flowers are also like emitting like different smells. And Xerxes tells him like this is kind of how they communicate. They communicate with the smells. They can like emit pheromones, and that's how they like understand each other. They don't really hear the music like we do, but they feel it and they really enjoy it. So they can feel us talking right now, but they don't really understand. But they can like tell our intent just based off of like how we are. They can also like feel through the grass. They can like tell where everybody's sitting because they're like feeling just like the life force around it. It's pretty cool. And the music, it's like an Irish little jig, or maybe, I mean, it's not Irish, of course. It's their own thing, but it's really beautiful. Marcus and Addison are not having it. They're just sitting there, kind of like, this sucks. But after a while, some of the flower people, they come out with this like plant flower cape, and they like put it on Jacob. And he's like, whoa, what is going on? And eventually, like Roz starts dancing. He's like crazy, like wiggling around, and Talk and Telby, they start dancing too. They have this like cool like aerial dance where like Talk will like throw Telby in the air and she'll like do some flips and they'll like catch each other and like pass them back and forth, and they'll like roll around. And Ellie has this like beautiful thing with her long wings where she's like all like flowy and beautiful, and Jacob's like trying to dance too, but he dances like me. He's just like this little cape, and he notices Addison is not dancing, right? But he can tell that Addison is having a good time. Marcus, maybe not so much, but Addison, as Jacob remembers, like always wore these big headphones, right? Was always listening to music, and she hasn't been able to do that here. So this is like the first time she's been able to listen to music, which she typically did all the time. So he can tell that she's enjoying herself, but trying to make it so that nobody knows. But Jacob notices. And he's glad that she's enjoying herself. He doesn't want like everybody to be mad at each other. But so they just vibe, they just dance. Marcus sits alone in the corner. Addison kind of just like shimmying her seat. And eventually they go to bed and have in the morning they finish their journey fairly uneventfully. Jacob's feet are a little bit sore from all the dancing, but everybody feels like pretty good. Addison, after sleeping, seems a lot more comfortable. Marcus, not so much, but he never seemed comfortable. But eventually they make it all the way through, and they make it to the next gate to the troglodytes. Yippee!